Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a couple weeks. This is InspireNation, and we're having another weekly rundown with our best friend, Thomas Queter. Thomas Queter, running for U.S. Senate, representing the state of New York. Hey, Thomas, how you been, man? Enjoying the sun, the weather?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a good week for it. Friday was my birthday. And you know what
Happy
happened on
birthday.
Friday?
No, tell me.
The Supreme Court overruled an over 100-year anti-gun law here in New York. They said it was unconstitutional. Should free up people's ability to carry their concealed pistol. It was one of those hairy laws where you could get your permit, but you had to carry it a certain way, and not everybody was always fully informed, and a lot of people got accidentally caught up in the system and in trouble, right? Because they didn't mean anything wrong, but the rules were so, how do I put it, contrary to the purpose of carrying a pistol that a lot of people just went through without knowing the rule, and that speaks to a problem with our government overall. We've talked about this before, Robert. There are more laws on the books that apply to each individual than any of those individuals could learn in a lifetime, and yet they're expected to follow them all. Um, I find that ridiculous. Rather than passing new laws, I believe in an eraser. But, Robert, I happen to know you were fishing last Monday. How'd that go?
Oh, well, sadly, I didn't get any fish yet. It is hi, real quickly. Hi, lunatic libertarians in the house. I didn't get fish, but I did get a get net, and I went down there. It was a lot of combat fishing going on. The rocks are really dangerous, and so when I got down there, it was like people were just really aggressive. So I ended up moving my camp a couple times. But new directives. I'm actually going to be helping one of the elders down here uh, run his fish wheel. So back to the fish wheel plan, which is awesome. Get more fish that way anyway. I'll be able to have my dog. There's less people around. I don't like to combat fish. I don't like, it's like there's enough room for everybody. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's, uh,
yeah. Competitiveness is one thing when you're having a contest, but when you're subsiding on it, it's a little
right.
ridiculous. Better to find a better way where you're not in competition. I mean, imagine if you had combat venison hunting.
Jesus. A little, maybe a background. The kind of some interesting thing on the federal subsistence permit that I have. It's interesting when I look at the book. It literally says that as if you're a rural Alaskan, there's no license is required to take fish or sell fish, and so just kind of I got my permit, so I'm allowed basically unlimited fish. From the inlet all the way up to Salina. I'm really excited. Hope they get a bunch. I see you down there, you guys, Matt and yeah.
Matt was just here, actually. Matt and Derek both came up for
Mm.
my birthday. They were here for 3 days. Um, we did some more work to the wheelchairs. We upgraded. I'm in the old wheelchair, not the crowdfunded wheelchair right now. We upgraded the charge system on that, and we identified a problem with the crowdfunded chair, which is fixable, and we fixed another problem with the crowdfunded chair. It's pretty neat. It's fun to do. Um, to that note, I was introduced to a gentleman named Stephen McGrath a few weeks ago, and a couple of weeks ago we went to see him. Stephen ended up in the hospital with COVID last summer, and he ended up in a 6-week coma.
Hmm.
And when he came out of that coma, he found that he hadn't been bathed or moved. And Stephen's a diabetic. Then he had to go through 11 surgeries to remove his legs.
Oh my God.
Now, think about this, what's been done to our healthcare system and what's happened to staff in our hospitals through the last 2 years. We
Yep.
have a lot of undertrained, or rather, not undertrained, inexperienced staff now. We have a lot of new people who don't have the experience. And they didn't keep him clean and dry, and they didn't move his legs. I mean, when you have diabetes and you're going to be sitting still that long, you have to do that.
It seems extremely negligent.
Yeah, I know that sounds bad enough, but wait, Robert, it gets worse. Um, he lost his home to back taxes through both the COVID situation and his own situation with COVID and diabetes. And he's been able to put together enough credit to get a trailer put in a trailer park, but it's not accessible. And you know, I work with the New York Volunteer Network. The contractor for Russell Jordan, whose fundraiser is over. I'm proud to announce, yes, that remodel starts this coming weekend.
Perfect.
4th of July, Independence Day. Independence for Russell on
Wow.
Independence Day. Think about that. So, since our contractor, Jim Dayton, you all have seen him on the show before if you've watched. Many of us that come together for this know him. He came down to plan the flow of work with Russell and make sure that he wasn't impeding on their life and that he could get the work done as quickly as possible. And afterwards, he came and he picked me up and we went and we saw Stephen. Now, Stephen then went to apply through his insurance for a wheelchair. Mind you, he has no legs. And they denied him and stated it was because it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Think about that. He has appeals to make, yet he can still work his way through the system. And technically, they shouldn't be able to deny him, but they're going to make it as much of a fight as possible. That's what happens here in New York. And as you know, I have 2 of these Omega Track wheelchairs. So when Derek and Matt came for my birthday for 3 days, they used the van, the crowdfunded van, the Liberty Memes van. And they went and they picked up Stephen. They brought him over, and we had a nice time. We hung out for hours. I stuffed him full of seafood. I let him try the other wheelchair outside so he get used to it, know what a power chair should feel like. And, you know, I think it was good for him. I think he got to experience a little freedom, and he hasn't in a long time. And hopefully we can help him get. Yes, Stephen also loves to fish. He's an outdoorsman. He's a former military, right? He's a veteran. And he's used to an active lifestyle. He's used to having 2, 3 jobs at a time. And now he doesn't have the ability to do any of that. And here's the interesting thing, right? Normally, when I'm dealing with someone who's met with new disability, I'm the one that has to convince them that what they've lost isn't ability with their body, or in Stephen's case, his legs. What they've lost is the ability to fulfill their purpose, and that can be rectified with proper equipment and proper access to friends, family, community, the world at large. And you know, normally I'm the one conveying that to him, and actually, he said it to me first. It was the first time this happened in these situations for me. He said, "You know, it's not my legs that I miss. It's what I do. It's my day. It's my job, right? It's fishing." So we took the time and we did an estimate for an accessible remodel to the trailer he's in now. He has a ramp, but it's not safe. And he really needs 2 exits from the house. He currently can't get through any of the doorways. He has a manual chair that's a loaner. Yeah, it's kind of a hunk of junk, but it kind of works. But he can't even get through the doors where he's living. And he can't use his own bathroom. We're looking to change that for him. We're looking to raise. I think the number. I'm not sure of this, but I think the number came in at about 15,000, which is less than we needed for Russell Jordan's accessibility remodel. So we're looking to get that out in the coming week. I hope next Monday we have a link to put in all of these videos for people to go and donate to Stephen McGrath to have his life back, which I would argue was stolen from him. The parts that he's missing, not just his legs, but his ability to fulfill his purpose. And I think we can make one more person's life better. And that's what I love about what I've done so far in the last 3 years. Started with the state Senate campaign, and I kind of kept my activism and my advocacy going through that. Of course, my advocacy goes back years before my politics. And I've been able to help more people than I can remember since I got into politics. It's been easier to help people because I've grown my personal network. Now, when I run into someone who's got problems, I can reach out to the people I've met in that area and form a team and raise some money and maybe get people involved, whatever it takes. And we can solve these problems ourselves. That's volunteerism, right? Or volunteerism. It doesn't really matter which iteration of the word you use. It's all the same thing. You're choosing to do what needs to be done instead of looking up to the greatest government in the world and waste all of your money and not solve the problem. Instead, we're choosing to solve the problem and not waste any money. And in the meantime, those who donate to the nonprofit get to write their donations off on their income taxes. That's kind of a win-win, right? That's choosing where your taxes go. That's choosing to help someone directly. That's choosing to spend your money in a more efficient manner when the government would prefer to force you to not. And that's volunteerism. It's getting the job done. It's getting it done quick. And, I was, again, the recipient of more volunteerism, not only from Matt Lacey continuing to work in the wheelchairs with me, but I had to buy new batteries recently. Now, for me to get batteries for the wheelchair through the system, it's going to take up to 6 months. And I'm going to get low quality batteries. And I mean low quality batteries. And it's going to cost the system about $2,400 or more. To buy them privately, they arrived in 4 days. They were quality batteries with the manufacturing date of the same month that I ordered them. And they're just far superior.
Awesome.
But they still cost $700, much less than $2,400. But $700 is nearly a month's income for me. And so I asked for some help because somebody offered some help. So somebody suggested that I should crowdfund it even after the fact, right? I purchased them on a credit card that I can't afford, but I needed them. So what was I going to do? And it all started because somebody sent me $10. Somebody sent me $10 and encouraged me to crowdfund this, and now we're only like $62 or something short of the full number, which is more than enough for me to be able to cover it now. And that always touches me, right? Somebody gave me my life back again. Every time this happens, it's people choosing to give me my life back.
Well, I love what you do, Thomas. That's why I'm here every week, and that's why we get together and talk to you, Thomas. I know you've been busy the last 3 weeks, and maybe in the next couple of weeks or something, maybe we can go over some of this stuff. But I want people to know that you can still go to thomasqueeter.us at any time and donate money for Thomas's campaign. Sure.
You can also go to lpny.org and make a donation, and those donations are going to go towards our legal battles. We have 2 ongoing legal battles for our ballot access, and that's the next thing I want to talk about. There are a lot of different rulings in this process, and it can often sound like we've lost the line. We're not going to be on the line, but there's still a fight. There's still an appeal. There's actually, with 2 lawsuits, there's still several appeals. And Queeters don't quit. Tom Queeter doesn't quit.
Nope. He
I
doesn't.
can tell you that Larry Sharp is not about quitting either. And so we're going to go the whole way with this, and we're going to litigate it as far as we can, because somebody has to stand up to these egregious rules. And it seems like
Right.
Republicans and conservatives aren't really standing up for Cuomo's edict that he slipped into the budget in 2020, crippling the number of signatures and halving the number of days we have to get those signatures. It's 45,000 signatures in approximately 6 weeks. And
That's incredible.
it's ridiculous, right? And if we don't make the line, this will be only the third time in the last 150 years that New York had only 2 choices for governor. Think about that.
Man. When you put things in perspective, my God.
So that's why we fight this fight, right? That's why we don't quit. We have to take it up as far as we can get it and make a point and make sure people know what their government is doing to them. You know, I do have some other initiatives going on that I'm hoping within a month or two I'll really be able to talk about. And I want everybody to keep an eye on me and keep an eye on what I'm doing, because I think they'll like it. Once I'm able to talk about it, I will. But for now, just know that I'm staying busy, and I'm continuing with volunteerism, and I'm continuing to campaign for as long as we have the option to.
I'm proud of you, Thomas. I'm proud to work with you. I'm proud to volunteer my time, and I love doing it. So I want to before, so you can close here, but before you do that, let me just plug our friend here, Dan, Taxation and Stuff Berman. He has some incredible THC and CBD products from Delta 8, and I do recommend going to nugofknowledge.com, just like that, nugofknowledge.com. Check him out, buy his stuff, and if you use the promo code INSPIRE, boom, you get 10% off. And it helps us all out. There you go.
Well, speaking of Dan Berman, you know he's got another initiative and another product.
Let's hear it.
He's got wine called Blood of
Oh.
Tyrants. The Blood of Tyrants. So if you
really?
Yes, if you type in blood of tyrants wine, and you use the promo code Drop Toms Not Bombs, you can get yourself a very delicious Merlot. I haven't tasted it. I don't drink, but I've talked to some wine aficionados and say it's pretty good. And,
that is Drop Toms Not Bombs. Use the hashtag.
Yep, and you use that at bloodofTyrants.wine, and you can get $5 off shipping on your wine.
I don't have that for a ticker, but there we go.
I think everyone can remember bloodofTyrants.wine, especially if I keep saying bloodofTyrants.wine. The last thing I'd like to leave everybody with is that we're here to fight it, and we're not going to go away. Next year is another cycle, and the year after that, and libertarians in New York, I know we're not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. So keep doing the thing. Whatever that thing is that's in front of you. Do something. Help somebody. Solve a problem. Show up to your town board meetings. Show up to your school board meetings. Show up to your water board meetings. Show up to whatever it is you have concerns about. And whatever you do, do not sit and wait
Like that.
for someone else to solve your problems. It is time that we all start pursuing the solutions to both our own problems and the problems in our communities. Because I think it's been pretty self-evident for the last few decades that our government is very bad at solving our problems. The debt ticker shows it. The military suicide rate shows it. The farmer suicide rate shows it. The youth suicide rate shows it. Stop depending on the government to solve your problems, because they're just going to use it to take advantage of you.
Hey, James.
And you know, at the same time, it's okay to take help when you need it. Sometimes it's better for you to ask for that help from places other than government systems. It certainly worked out for me, and I know it worked out for Russell Jordan, and we're going to make it work out for Stephen McGrath. You can make it work out too. You know, I'm going to end it with a happy birthday to Spike Cohen. It's also his birthday recently.
Happy birthday, Spike. Great.
Thank you again for hosting this, Robert. I really appreciate you. And I hope next week we have some really exciting news.
And what time do we go live on Mondays, Thomas?
9 p.m. every Monday we can.
Awesome. Cool. That's it.
Good night, everybody.
God bless.